Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-888-88-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew as we attempt to navigate the latest boating news and information for the week. We got the Miami International Boat Show happening this weekend. It's been dubbed the Super Bowl of boat shows, even though legally they can't say that.
No, that's the big game. You can't even say that.
I'm not supposed to, but I don't.
You just did.
I don't work for the boat show, so I can say whatever the hell I want. So there.
That's right. Okay, NFL. Greg is located somewhere in Orlando.
Yeah.
I didn't hear a thing.
Okay. It's a big deal though going on this weekend in Miami. We're going to try to see what we can find out what's going on. Yeah, the weather's good. We'll try to, tap into what's been going on. But the big news this week, this is one of the biggest viral stories that has happened in some time. That, I don't know, also taps into your worst nightmare, possibly, too. Yeah. I mean, he was a boater, and he was swallowed by a whale. Everybody has seen it. It's been on all over the mainstream media. And we got to talk about this guy. This poor sap.
His name was Jonah.
Yeah, that's what you would think.
Yeah, his name was Jonah, too.
Was it real? I read it was Adrian or something.
No, I'm making that up.
Oh, okay.
Like all these stories that are made up on this show. Oops, I didn't say that either.
True. So true. But yeah, this guy's out there. I think it was a father-son. They were there. They were kayaking with inflatable kayaks.
Oh, and there was one.
What's that?
And then there was one.
No. It was inflated. No, it came back up.
Well, it did. I mean, the whale, the humpback whale, comes up out of the ocean while I think it was the younger one that was kayaking, and his dad got it all on video. They had the video going, and you just see the humpback whale come up and just literally engulf the kayak and him. I was like, what? That is amazing video. That is truly amazing video.
Do in that situation? I mean, you're sitting there, you're filming your son, and then all of a sudden he gets eaten by a whale.
Yeah, you're like, what?
He did get spit back out.
Yeah. They interviewed the whale later, and they said, well, he spit him out. He tastes like chicken.
Well, I'm sure the whale was just as surprised as the kayaker was.
Well, obviously, yeah.
It's a plankton eater, right?
Yeah,
That's a little bigger than a normal piece of plankton.
Yeah. It spit him out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for him.
Disgusting human.
But I saw they interviewed the kid, and he said, I thought I was dead. He goes, I knew I was, in the mouth of this whale. I was like, oh my gosh, this is how I'm going. And it spit him out right away. Thank goodness. And
his boat.
Yeah, and his boat.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was.
The reporter must have said, hey, what does it feel like to be part of the food chain? Like really part of the food chain.
I'm hip. That had to be, that is some of the coolest video though. And he will have a story that'll last a lifetime and then some.
Yeah.
And the fact that they captured the whole thing on video has obviously made it go viral around the world. But, this happened a couple years ago to some scuba divers. And I know Barry remembers this because, we are divers too. And there were some divers that were swimming around and got in the middle of a humpback whale or whatever. I think they were humpbacks, but they got in the middle of one of their feeding bubble nets.
Yeah.
And they got in the middle, and sure enough, basically what they do, they create these bubbles in a circle like a group of whales are hunting for like schooling krill. And they'll create a bubble curtain in a circle that traps the fish in there. And then one of them comes up through the middle and, with his mouth wide open and eats all the fish.
Scoops them up.
Yes, you can do it. And one of the snorkelers or scuba divers found himself in the middle of one of these bubble rings. And sure enough, the humpback whale comes up and picks the diver up along with a mouthful of krill. And you see him just being carried up out of the water, kind of like he's in a bathtub, but it's a whale's mouth. And
so what's the lesson there?
I
If
don't
you're
really,
underwater and you see bubbles, swim towards them as fast as you can.
Exactly. Be on the outside of a bubble ring when it comes to humpbacks. Yeah. Now he never got engulfed by the whale. It just like you see the video and he comes up and it's like he's in a bathtub and it's the whale's mouth and it spits him out pretty quickly. But this guy literally was engulfed. I mean, it's just like one giant mouth and he disappears. And I was like, what? I mean, that is insane.
That is. I just can't imagine what was going through his mind when it first happened. It's like, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a big mouth. I'm in the mouth.
Oh!
Damn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you see how clear and nice that video was?
What do you
mean?
mean?
That was like all of these videos you see of UFOs and things like that are always fuzzy, out of focus, and never clear like that.
Okay, so your point is what, Barry?
The point is that this is a real video. It is sharp. It is in focus, and it came out beautiful. But none of those UFO space aliens that everyone runs around talking about, you never get a good, clear video.
Oh, you're not watching the right ones.
Well,
Plus, it's alien technology. They're not going to just pop out there in the open.
So what they're doing is they're blurring all of everyone's cameras.
Yeah, they know how to do that.
Technology for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
those whales are very smart.
Yeah, exactly. These are smart whales.
Oh, it was his photographic debut.
Maybe.
It'll be in the next Free Willy movie.
I wonder if the whale knows he's famous.
Could be. Yeah, maybe they got that whole mental telepathy thing going on. But I doubt it. He probably did exactly. I mean, you could pretty much do a voiceover of that video from the whale's perspective, like, "Hey, what's this?
Wait a minute!
Oh my God, what is that, broccoli?" Something like that.
As I said, that's what they thought. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it obviously the whale didn't find him very tasty.
No.
But man, what a story. I mean, obviously it freaked the kid out. And I saw an interview with him or some, like a script of a transcript of his interview. And he said something like, "Oh, I thought I was going to die. And then when I got spit out, I was relieved. But then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm freezing to death. It's cold water. And is the whale going to come up and eat my dad?" It's like,
that's a lot of thoughts going through.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
Way too many. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, I think that's pretty, I would have put that in the category as normal, reaction to being, engulfed by the mouth of a whale. I mean, but, you kind of wonder how this doesn't happen actually more often.
Yeah.
Well,
as big as he's okay.
Well, yeah, of course. Of course. I mean,
it's just kind of a reminder whenever you're in the ocean, I was joking earlier about being part of the food chain, but the fact is you are. I mean, there were two ladies recently over in Bimini that got bitten by bull sharks.
Right.
And had to be airlifted back to the U.S.
Yeah.
Whenever you're in the ocean, I mean, that's the risk you take. I mean, but
you're in their territory.
Well, you're in their territory. Yeah. There's ways to limit your exposure. I mean, you brought up that thing in the Bahamas, and yeah, supposedly they were jumping off a yacht in a marina at dusk where they cleaned fish. I mean,
that's always a bad. That's never good.
Right. It was. I mean, I looked into that incident. It does not look very.
And
very
usually
good.
The sharks, and I think you could confirm, they'll take a nip, and they'll taste it, and they'll say, "Ugh."
Yeah,
but they don't keep eating. You
don't from a bull shark.
Yeah.
Oh, it can kill you, yes,
of course,
but it isn't. I mean, if it was fish, they're not going to take a nip and go away. They're going to keep eating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do wonder how many times has a humpback whale done this, and we never, the person didn't live to tell us about it. I mean, I bet you this has happened before, but this guy was lucky. The other humpback whale may have said, "Well, yeah, okay, tastes like chicken."
We could do an experiment with you and just find a pod of them and then drop you off.
No. Remember, Barry, you're a little bit more husky than me, and fat is flavor. So
no, but it floats also. So
well, okay. There's that. All right, coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Welcome aboard. I will be your captain. You'll be my scallywags. I don't know what that means, but you will be them. And here's how we play.
Thank you for your attention and welcome aboard.
Let's go.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew. All right, so we've established that, you know, if we're out on the water, Mike, Barry, and myself, each floating in our own kayak, that Barry would be the first that the humpback whale would engulf and would eat.
If you say so.
Okay, he'd be a nice little morsel.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I mean, they're picky eaters, Barry.
Yeah.
So you got to assume, you know, if you have a little bit more fat on the bone compared to Mike and me, just a little, just enough that it gives you an edge.
Uh-huh.
He can hear you. You know that, right?
I know.
He's like
well,
right there.
It's the same philosophy I have with the cannibals in Fiji.
Yeah.
You know, I always, when I go out on the dive boat with Barry, I always feel extra safe because I figure, well, if they decide to go back to cannibalism,
they're going to go after
They're going to eat Barry
right?
first.
No.
You know, fat is flavor. I was told that years ago in Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, okay, like if we get out on the water and we run out of gas and we get stranded, you know, and we have to eat someone to survive. And I'm asking a Fijian this, and I said, how do we decide who to eat first? And he just said, well, remember, fat is flavor. And I was like,
you guys really had that conversation?
I swear.
That's
he is a strange person. Yeah, he is.
Well, you know, you got to plan for worst case scenarios.
Plan for worst case scenarios.
So let that be a lesson.
Right.
And, you know, so if you ever get stranded out on your boat, Mike, just never be the...
Never turn your back on Greg.
No, just always make sure you're not the heaviest one on the boat.
Mike, if a shark is circling, just push Greg out first.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you take your dive knife out and you slit the Achilles heel of your dive buddy, and then all they can do is swim around in circles.
Yeah.
And then you swim off to safety.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all these things. We've thought this through.
Yeah, he has.
I got a funny quick story. We were down talking about being part of the food chain and all that. we were down in the Keys lobstering probably 5 years ago, and we scout sometimes. So when we don't know where the lobster are, we'll move the boat around. We'll drop a person in and put them on a rope and drag them around until they find lobster, and then we stop and put the anchor out.
Right.
Well, my brother goes off the side to do the scouting, and as soon as he hits the water, he throws his mask back in the boat and he's yelling and cussing, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm stopping the boat. When he rolled over and landed in the water, he landed on top of a shark.
Oh.
The shark was next to the boat. And he literally landed on top of the shark.
That's not ideal. That's
no.
I've always called that technique sending out a diver to be a human lure.
Yes. Well, it's exactly
it's trolling
what he
for
was that
lobsters.
day.
You're looking for lobsters, but in reality, bigger critters like, those like that whale or a shark or something, God knows what else. I was dragging behind Barry's boat, and I was like, I'm being acting like a human lure right now. This isn't ideal.
Speaking of lures, I have something for you if you would like, Mike. I'm never going to use them again. Would you like a pair of water skis, some jackets, and tow rope?
Yeah, well, why are you never going to use them again?
Because I have no one to pull skiing anymore.
Well, my boat's not fast enough to pull a skier, so
the little speedy boat isn't.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably fast enough, but it's probably not heavy enough. It only weighs 600
Barry,
pounds.
will your boat? Can you pull a skier with your 17-foot Triumph?
Yeah, I did. I used to. That's why I had it.
We'll go skiing next time. I'll do it. I know how to ski. I haven't done it in
place
forever.
that I used to take people to ski now has sailboats on the hook all the time.
Well, okay.
And I think the neighbors in that particular area purposely allowed them to put the sailboats out there. So now you don't have boats trying to water ski, and they used to run water skiing and tubing,
wakeboarding and stuff
and
like
all
that.
that stuff. And I think
don't get rid of it. I may want to. I may want to have you take me.
Yeah, you could go ski anyway. It's just an obstacle course now. You just
exactly
leave.
Slalom.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's a competition kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't get rid of that stuff. Come on now.
All right.
Thank you, your buddy. You just called you fat on the air.
I'll give them to you. You have lakes up there. You're on Lake Mary or something like that.
Well, we have lakes. We got a lot of lakes in Florida. But yeah, I would hold on to that stuff. You might be
okay.
You might it could come in handy. I like the idea of doing that as opposed to the human lure type of thing, to be honest.
Well, the whole idea behind that was to look for lobster.
Right, but
you were diving that day. You wanted to find more lobster. I said, hang on to this rope and I'm going to tow you along.
Yeah. And then, like I said, about a minute in, I was like,
yeah,
what does this look like to the big animals below? Especially when you go like off the wall and you just look into the abyss. It's like, I bet I look like a big fat seal right now to something like a great white.
What they say the silhouette of a surfboard with a surfer on it looks like to a
I've
shark.
watched Air Jaws. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know Barry was up there. I'll show these sons of bitches.
That's right.
Anywho,
faster every time.
Yeah. Let's let's hope we don't get eaten by a whale. We'll leave that story for now. But we do got the Miami International Boat Show happening this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the largest boat show in the world, so they say. Whether that's true, I think I keep hearing that maybe by square footage, Miami's bigger and Fort Lauderdale has more in-water boats or bigger boats. I don't know. It seems like it's always a toss-up. But I've heard it called the Super Bowl of boat shows because that boat show also has a tendency to lean towards more like boat industry attendance as well. So whereas Fort Lauderdale will be more boaters, lifestyle, and things, Miami has a tendency to draw in more, maybe people that work in the industry as well as the general public, and it is massive. It is a massive event. Yeah.
It's in February when everyone in the country is freezing and it's beautiful down there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
80 plus degrees.
With the exception of us.
The water. Yes.
Yeah. So true. So it's a good time of year for a boat show. And, the weather is really, really great this week for it. So, that usually plays to that, to the advantage as far as attendance. So we'll see what the numbers are next week. or in the next couple of weeks. We'll get those. But yeah, I mean, what are we hearing as far as what they're going to show at this year's event? What is the queen of the show, first off?
Okay, the queen
of
the
show. It's not RuPaul.
Show.
It's the largest boat of the boat show in Miami.
The largest boat of the boat show this year is called Bold, B-O-L-D.
Okay.
And you can lease it for 875,000 euros per week.
That's all.
That's all. 279 feet long.
Wow.
It was built.
Let's do it.
It was built in 2019.
Wait, is that with a crew or is that bare bones?
No. There's 8 cabins. It'll hold 12 guests, 8 cabins. It doesn't say how much is in crew, but it doesn't matter. It has its own helicopter and a landing pad on this yacht. It has all the toys.
All the stuff necessary for me to have a decent day boating. Maybe a little bit more than that, actually. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 PSI left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
The word ship is hidden inside the word leadership as its derivation. So, if this office is, in fact, a ship, as its leader, I am the captain. But we're all in the same boat.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Captain, please, can you see my fire? Message in a bottle, starboard side.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew. Okay, so the Miami International Boat Show is going on this weekend. One of the largest, if not the largest, in the world, by the way. Last year, I think they broke records with attendance and attendees and all that kind of good stuff. The queen of the show is a almost 300 plus meter or foot size vessel.
Go ahead.
No, I'm asking.
No, 279 feet.
Feet. Okay. So almost 300 feet long vessel called Bold. And you could rent it for what, a couple grand? Is that for a day or a week?
875,000.
Oh, 200 grand. I'm sorry.
875,000 euros.
Okay.
Per week.
All right.
So, but, you could for an extra fee.
Yeah.
You can also, the Leonardo AW109 Grand helicopter is also available for charter at a slight extra cost.
Okay. So, well, yeah, you got to be able to get to the boat.
$52 million a year isn't enough to operate that?
Let's see. Top speed is 23 knots. It has a low draft. Well, I guess they consider 10 feet a low draft.
Right.
To shallow bays, outdoor entertainment on many decks and bars. There's a 40,000 watt sound system, air conditioning, winter garden with a table for 16 guests and a glass panel system. Okay. Outdoor cinema with a sun deck.
It might just barely make the cut for what I'm looking for in a week-long charter.
Well, I sent you a video, and you could charter it from Fraser Yachts. I'll send them your contact information.
No. Here's what you
Let
do.
us know when to show up.
No, here's what you do. You go to the boat show and you see who is walking on board Bold, and you kind of scope them out, kind of like a stalker. And then you find them at the bar later.
Like a stalker.
Buy him a drink. Buy he or she a drink, and befriend them, and see if they'll invite you on their new vessel that they just purchased at the boat show.
I don't think they're going to buy
These are the
that.
kind of people that you want to befriend for sure. But you got to find out who those folks are. That's your mission, Barry. You're down there, so just go over there and stock some potential buyers so we can get on board as a guest.
Just walk down the dock with your captain's hat and your Ray-Bans on.
And
holding a cocktail. Act like you're supposed to be there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then they'll promptly escort you off the premises because they'll recognize, oh, that's that stalker guy. Get him out of here.
I'm going to promote Greg
to
the captain of the head.
Excuse me?
You're going to be the captain of the head. That's the enlisted man whose cleaning station is at the head. And that way you can walk there at the boat show with your
but
captain's
at least
hat.
he'll be called a captain.
That's right.
He'll be called a captain, but he's captain of the toilet seat.
Yep.
Well, that does kind of have a ring to it. And if it works, I mean, I don't have to wear a T-shirt or a sign that says that.
I got it from the Marine Dictionary, Mariner's Dictionary. Yep. I just
So
promoted
you're a
you.
captain? Sure. Yeah, I'm a captain of the hood. What'd you
Captain of
say?
the head.
Captain of the
The
what?
head.
Captain of the hood. Captain of huh? No, captain.
So being the poop captain is completely different than being the captain of the poop deck.
Well, a
Those are
deck
two-
is
those-
also a quarter deck, similar
Those
to
are
that.
different. Yeah, those are different things.
Okay. Oh, right.
We're gonna need an organizational chart to figure this out.
Possibly, but my guess is it's not going to work. So, as far as weaseling our way onto that vessel, they got these things locked down now. It used to be back in the day, I'd go to the boat shows, and I could tour any of those vessels with my media pass, but they quit doing that. There's like all these media weasels. They just use their credentials to walk around on these fancy vessels to see how the lifestyles of rich and famous are living. But they finally wised up and realized we were just trying to get a free beer. That's kind of what I was doing back in the day.
I got when I was at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show a number of years ago. For some reason, I was looking at this big yacht, and one of the people there said, "Would you like to come aboard?" And I looked at him, and I looked around, and I said, "Me?
Can you not
He
see
said,
me?
Sure.
Look at me. Do I look
And
like I can afford this thing?
I think it was, they wanted to have more people walking around like they were interested in it or something like that. Or maybe he was just figured that it would be fun for me.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually even I've kind of weaseled my way back on every now and then. Sometimes you'll meet some crew that are a little bit more lenient. Like you said, if it's kind of slow and they don't have a whale that they're trying to schmooze, they're just eating a kayaker maybe, I don't know. But yeah, if they're not real busy, they've let me on the vessel. I say, "Hey, I'm with World of Boating." They're like, "Okay, well, despite that, we'll let you walk around anyway. Take your shoes off." And,
yes.
That kind of thing. But back in the day, it used to be kind of like an open door policy. Now they're way more discerning than they used to be.
Yeah, usually you have to sign up for it. There's a register. You register for
they
it,
do
and then they tell
credit
you to come
check.
back. Yeah. Yeah.
Literally,
And
they do.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean,
Well, some of these yachts are owned by people, and then
all of
the
them
manufacturer.
aren't
Well,
they?
no,
Most
I
of
don't
them.
think so. I think some of them are owned. Well, the one that this Bold has to be owned by someone, but he leases it out. I've had a couple of clients that are captains on yachts, and they lease them out. That helps pay for these yachts or for their upkeep.
Right. Well,
So,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We'll just say we want to lease it. We want to lease. What'd you say? It was $200,000 for a week. We would like to lease it for
807.
What would 15 minutes cost me?
We'd like to lease it for breakfast tomorrow morning, and that's it.
Right.
Walk on and leave. And of course, that's going to be $12,000.
Exactly.
Right.
Just long enough to get pictures for your social media. Say, look at me on my new yacht.
Yeah.
Post it up on Instagram.
You got to make sure you have really ratty shoes there, because I think you had a pair stolen one time.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually at the Miami Boat Show. That was over on the sailing side of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ragbaggers. Somebody liked my my flip flops and took them. I was like,
and I know they weren't $1 Walmart flip flops.
No, they were decent ones.
So
I was like,
yeah,
I can't believe it. I come back out like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? My shoes are gone, and it was a mess. But
yes.
But yeah, you know, it's still a cool thing to attend. But you know, if you can look around and hang out at the bars, I mean, you know, it's not necessarily looking the part though either, Barry. I will tell you, I have met plenty of yachties. You know, there's a stereotype that all the rich folks are walking around like Thurston Howell III and Lovey, you know, from Gilligan's Island or something. Yep. It's not like that. A lot of them are looking a little rough around the edges, and you'll be hanging out and having a beer with somebody, and somebody lets it slip like, oh, you know, that guy owns Oracle, or this, you know, this is a big Microsoft exec, and they're pretty low key. You know,
yeah, those are the smart ones.
Yeah, those are the ones.
That actually happened to me at a boat show some years ago. I was on a boat, and this guy came on board, and I thought, wow, I cannot believe they let this guy on board.
What a slob! Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, this guy looked really rough. Like it looked like he had just bailed out of jail.
Yeah.
And he literally bought that boat, and this was probably $2 or $3 million boat.
Right.
He literally walked in, looked around. And, you know, 20 minutes later, I overheard him talking with the guy. Okay, well, I'm going to have my people
talk to your people, and I'm going to buy it. So when you see a bum at the Miami Boat Show, buy him a beer. It might pay off tenfold. You never know. More coming up. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
You can't have 5 people or 10 people in a boat.
So if it is a family of 4 or 5, like husband, wife, and kids, they're going to have to pick 2 of them at a time.
They would, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Greaseball, where did you get the right to tell me how many people can come on my boat? Nobody asked that question. Whoa, really? It's on the boat or on the dock? Nobody said anything.
Sweetly sailing, darling, sweetly sailing by the sea, silver caps the ocean, we'll be sailing free.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew. All right, so we talked about the queen of the show. Any other highlights that they're promoting this weekend, Barry, for Miami International's boat show's debut this weekend?
Not really anything that I've seen. I know Governor DeSantis was down here to cut the ribbon and open the show. So I'm sure that he had got an earful from people that work down there and that are in the industry about what's going on with boating in Florida. And, you know, maybe he'll be coming up with changes.
Yeah, well, possibly. Yeah, there's been a few things that he's been dabbling with that we're going to address on the show possibly as early as next week and cover accordingly. Yeah. But I don't know. There could be some new technology. You know, we'll have to wait and see how things shake out. A lot of the manufacturers debut new products, upgrades. I don't know if we got some new models debuting, but we got our moles there at the boat show this weekend, and it'll take a week or so for it to filter out. But we'll see what's going on and who got kicked off of the queen of the show. And
I know that what is it? Regal Boats.
Yeah.
Had a couple of new boats that debuted. It was, let me see, where did it go? Oh, yeah, they're 43-foot SAV, and I have no idea what SAV means, and a 30 and a
Sport
LX.
activity vehicle.
Yes. Well, I'm
Really? That's
I'll
on the
buy it.
water? Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's actually what it means.
And
And I've been on that boat.
seriously?
Yeah, it is a really, really well put together vessel.
Okay.
And then the other one,
yeah.
the LX43, which is a bow rider, and I saw the pictures of this thing. I've never seen a bow rider this big before. It's essentially, let's see, 7 to 7 is 34. It's twice as big as my boat.
So that's the same size as my boat. And I just can't imagine buying a 43-foot boat in a bow rider configuration. I mean, if you're going to have a boat that big, wouldn't you want it to be liveaboard capable? With,
yeah, you'd have that want some enclosure area. But but if you're planning to just use it, say from Florida over to the Bahamas for a quick run, and on something like that, you'd probably that'd be one of those 3 or 4, outboards, wouldn't it, on the transom of something like
it
that?
has multiple outboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had, let me see, this one looks like, I'm looking at it now. Looks like it has at least 1, maybe 2. Could this be 43 or maybe, no, maybe that can't be the length of it. That can't be 43 foot long.
Yeah.
Well, it could be.
Maybe
they definitely make
outboards
them.
are
I've
now
seen
up
them.
to 650 horsepower a piece. So it could be, instead of having 4 300s, it could have 2 600s.
Yeah. I got a friend down in South Florida that does that.
This has 250 on it. This can't be 43 foot. It's beautiful though.
But it's like our buddy Walt's friend has I think it's a Solus. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
I've heard of Solus. Yeah,
there is a boat called Solus,
and it's I think it's like a 40-foot bow rider kind of thing. It's super fancy.
I have seen those, but this is not. I don't know why. Usually the numbers on a boat indicate the size of it, so I don't know why he had it listed like that. But no, these are beautiful boats, and they have that little what would you call it? That forward raking arch on all of these boats.
What do you mean?
I guess it's like an arch that's forward raking into the wind, and I think you could put tops on it or something like that to enclose the boat. But it's a beautiful boat. So
kind of like a hard top Bimini top kind of thing.
It's just the arch, and then you could add, I guess, more to it somehow.
Right.
Yeah. So that boat is 44 feet overall.
Really?
With a 13 foot beam. 13.
Wow. So it is that big.
Okay. It is, and it's a really cool layout, and it also has a cool. This is the boat that I was on. It's really cool because the gunnels in the cockpit lay down, and when you're anchored out, you basically have a huge, wide open deck across the back. And when you're underway again, you fold them back up, and so you essentially gain 6 feet of beam when you're anchored out.
All right.
Okay, there is a built-in head in there. I'm just wondering if there's any other places you can hide in this boat.
Well, you're saying sleep in the head? Is that what you're thinking?
No. It has a cabin.
Well, you would be the captain of the head again. So
yeah.
Yeah, no, it has a cabin. It's just really, it's really cool what manufacturers are doing now with space allocations and things like that, because, boat design in some cases can be pretty cluttered, and the maximization of space is a challenge for any boat designer. And I think what's happened is they've found ways to make the boats more usable, such as being able to lower the gunnels down so you have a flat deck across the back, so you can have 10 people out there enjoying the day and swimming or scuba diving, or it's just a great platform.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Yeah,
Buy
this
it,
one
Barry.
has 2 Yamahas on it. So this may be the bigger one that he was talking about, because there's a smaller one next to it with a single engine.
Well, yeah, and also look at the weight. So here's why you can do outboard power with less horsepower and still get great performance. These boats are 28,000 pounds gross. My boat's a little under double that.
Wow!
But my boat's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And, traditional diesel boat. So here's a boat that's the same size as mine that probably goes twice as fast, but it's half the weight.
Right.
So
and
new
I think
production methods.
yeah, I think they're going towards slightly smaller boats, things that you can. I don't know. Could you trail something this big? I guess it
No,
wouldn't.
it's 13 feet wide.
So what's the maximum that you can trail? 10 foot?
8.5.
8.5. All right.
Yeah. Well, you can go bigger, but you have to get a permit.
Yeah, I'm talking about without a permit.
8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 8.5 feet wide.
Go bigger, Barry. Just
just do it. Right.
Come on, you can do it. You don't need to trailer it. You're down there in South Florida anyway.
I'll just put it in back of Walt's house.
Oh, okay. Wherever you got to put it.
There you go.
Just throw it on the hook somewhere out there in the bay.
Mm-hmm.
And you're good to go. Come on.
He's
not
doing a very good. Yeah,
you're an accountant. You can cook the books. And get whatever you want.
The books.
It's tax season.
You got to make that payment every month.
Right. Okay.
Well, if we're going to buy one of these boats, we're going to need to do a Ponzi scheme, and we're going to need Barry's help.
That's right.
Thanks.
You got to leverage your, your skills.
My ability to hide the money, huh?
Boating abilities. Yeah. I mean, you got to think creative. I mean, see, I'm the thinker of this crew. Otherwise known as the instigator.
You're the instigator. I'm looking at this big Regal with this cabin and this electronic system. It's got 3 huge flat panel displays. This it looks like something out of a cockpit of a space shuttle. No, it can't be a space shuttle. That's too old.
Well,
this would be one of the newer ships.
Barry, I'm sold. Go buy that thing. What are you waiting on?
Your credit card.
Quit looking at it and go buy it. You're the closest member of the world of boating to the Miami International Boat Show this weekend.
Okay,
so
I have nothing to do.
Tag, you're it. All right. On that note, we're going to wrap it up for this week. Till next time, remember, whether it is sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Barnacle-bitten swab.
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.